Hello again, you lovely people. Welcome back again to Philippine life through the eyes of an expat with honest opinions and honest observations. Stephen here. Going to the streets a little bit hot. Let's just say you're coming. Oh, there's a nice Carabao there. I'll just show you the Carabao quick. Can you see him? Where is he? I'll try and. Here he is. Oh, a bit wobbly. I need to get a gimbal that is got the 3-axis. There he is. Anyway, so you're coming here or you're already here. Let's just hypothetically, if you're not here and you're coming here. So after the first few months, you might get a little bit fed up. And I mean fed up because it's difficult to adapt for some people. And I understand that. I totally understand that. So, as the saying goes, you can take the person out of the country, but, can you take the country out of the person? And what I mean by that is, missing your way of life. Meaning the amenities and the convenience of things, even down to public transport perhaps. But I think for me, being here, and yes, sometimes you can get a little bit agitated because things don't run as smoothly. Let's just say things don't run as smoothly as what they do in some Western countries. But then, we're in a third world country. Or is it a second world country? I don't know. Some people say third world, some people say second world. I don't think of it as that anyway. I mean, because I love the country, I wouldn't care if it's first, second or third. But if it's a first world country, we will be paying first world prices. So it would make it not so attractive for people to be able to come and live here with a pension or whatever they get, to make it stretch for the month. So I think, to be able to adapt to the way of life here, you have to accept what happens. And I mean accept what happens as in accept how the people are. Like time. Time here means nothing. Let's just say, for an example, I've done it many times and I still do it. I would arrange to meet somebody, and I'm talking Filipinos here, because I don't really mix with any expats. I don't like the drama. I know all expats aren't drama, but many are, especially in this certain island, what's not too far from here. There's many foreigners there, and it just seems to me like it's drama with them all the time. But anyway, I'm not involved in that. So let's just say you're here and you can't accept or you can't understand how the people are here. Let's talk about the time. Now, there's many instances here where I've arranged to meet someone to go fishing, an angling friend, and let's just say I've said, I'll see you there at 6 o'clock. Okay, Stephen, I'll see you there at 6 o'clock. Now, 6 o'clock to them, it doesn't matter. It could be, that's the time that's arranged. And because we are Westerners, time to us is, it's very relevant. To them, it's irrelevant. So you could be waiting at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you give them a call. Where you at? Yeah, I'm just coming. Well, that used to really irritate me. It did, honestly. I won't lie. It used to really irritate me. Now I'm used to it. And also, sometimes when you are doing something for a Filipino, sometimes, not all the time, they might not thank you. Personally thank you, thank you. But that doesn't mean to say that they don't thank you. It just means to say that they haven't said it. Now, I know some foreigners here who find that really, really irritable and bad manners. Well, listen, we're not in our own country. What we think is good manners and bad manners here, it's not. And it could really agitate you. you've got to be able to adapt to how it is here. You know, we will always be guests here, always be guests. And they are very welcoming, you know. Can you imagine, and I know this has happened in my country, where I used to live, in Hastings, the Battle of Hastings, 1066. Very, very famous battle with the French. Harold and William. Harold came off worse, got the arrow in his eye, and we was, you know, taken over by the French for a while. So, you know, in our country, we take things as gospel, like time. Time is important, to be there on time. Here it means nothing. And if you're with a Filipino wife or a girlfriend or something like that, then you know what I'm saying as well, because they might say, I'll be there at 7 o'clock. Oh, they're still getting ready at 7:30. They haven't even considered leaving to meet you at 7 o'clock. So that's a little agitator. I'm used to it now. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. So again, being able to adapt to how it is here. Now, if you can't adapt, then you're not going to make it. And I mean, you're not going to make it because you're going to be so frustrated all the time, and it'll send your blood pressure high. And most of us are getting on in years, and that's the last thing we need. We don't need high blood pressure, you know. We don't need it. So just kind of let it go over your head, you know. And also, I know some foreigners in the city, in Dipolog City, and also in Dumaguete as well, they don't really mix with Filipinos. They just mix with themselves. Well, I can't see the sense in that. Like I said, it's horses for courses. You know, whatever they decide to want to do, that's up to the individual person. But for me, to get the true culture of anywhere, not just the Philippines, but anywhere, you know, when I went to South America, and I didn't want to mix, you know, with my own, because I'm not learning nothing. And then you hear many of the expats complaining, this, everything takes time, you know. Well, yes, everything does take time here. And that could be another discontentment that a lot of expats have, is the waiting time here. There's a lot of waiting time for anything. But it doesn't matter, you know. We've got all the time in the world in our twilight years. I think we have all the time in the world. Nothing is a rush. You know, we aren't young anymore. You know, we aren't doing things 1,000 miles an hour. So when you come here, I think this is what you have to have. This is your mindset. Is everything is a slower pace of life. That's why I love it. It's a slower pace of life. And being able to adapt to this slower pace of life is absolutely difficult. It was difficult for me, but don't let it stop you. You know, once you're here, just take it slowly, bit by bit. Get used to how things work. Get used to how things don't work. And the things that don't work here is the way that we think. You know, we can't come here with our Western ideas and try and change the people. We can't try and Westernize the people. They're not in a Western world. Many have never been to a Western country. So we have to adapt to their way of thinking and their lives. And if you can't do that, then I think you're going to find it quite difficult here, lads or girls, you know. You're going to find it quite difficult. So, to make yourself happy here, and believe me, you know, to live the dream, you know, to live a comfortable life, it takes some doing. It just doesn't happen. Anywhere new, you know the saying, you're like a new broom sweeps clean. Well, that's what it's like for people when they first come here. A new broom does sweep clean for us, but then once that broom gets a bit worn out, we're thinking, well, hold on, this is just... And I know many expats or foreigners can't adapt to this way of life, and they do go somewhere else. Perhaps they go back to their own country, perhaps they go to another country. So to be able to live a comfortable life here, we have to adapt to their way of thinking and adapt to how they are. And it's also like when you see them building a house or building a construction building of any kind. It's not done how we would do it, or how it's done in our country, but it always turns out nice. And I've never seen a house fall down yet. I've never seen a house fall down. Timekeeping, except for when when you're meeting someone, that's just is non-existent. That time that you arranged, it'd be very, very, very surprising if they keep to that time. It'll always be late. It'll never be early. That's one thing I can guarantee. It will never be early. It'll always be later than the arranged time. But timekeeping when they are at work here, it used to agitate me. It did, honestly. They say that they'd start at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and they would start at that time, or they would begin very well up until a couple of weeks or a month into the project, and then they would start slipping. And I used to get angry. I did, I will be honest. I thought, well, hold on, they're supposed to be here now. But I've also noticed this. It doesn't matter what time they get here or what time they leave. The Filipinos have this certain amount of work that they're going to do for that day, regardless if they get here at 9 o'clock and leave at 3, or they get here at 7:30 and leave at 5. They have this amount of work which they're going to do, and they will not go over that. I've observed that. And that's fair enough. For the amount of money that they get, it's fair enough. I don't mind that. But that might bother some expats, foreigners, when they come here and they haven't something built. But it's just the way that they are. Again, we've got to get this Western way of thinking out of our bones and embrace their way. Because the sooner you embrace the way that they are and their culture and just how they operate, the sooner you will feel contented, and the sooner your blood pressure will return to normal on a daily basis. But if you can't do that, my goodness, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. You will be constantly have high blood pressure. So, and do you know what I would advise? And this is, it's opinion, but it's what I would advise. If you are coming here with a woman or not with a woman, or if you're already married and you just want to come here to live, don't get involved with too many expats. Seriously. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And I'm not saying that whereas in any detrimental way. I don't mean anything derogatory. I really don't. But if you mix with expats, and let's just say you do it once or twice a week, and there are 5 or 6 expats that meet in this certain place, they will give you discontentment. I promise. They will say this and they will say that, and then you'll say, oh yeah, it's true. So rather than, again, getting that Western way out of your system, you've got to. If you don't, you aren't going to survive. Not here. Or you aren't going to survive with a happy mind. And another thing is, when you build a house here, don't think it's an investment, because it's not. It's not like in the West where you can build a house and you can think, well, in 5 or 10 years' time, I'm going to be able to sell that, and that's going to be a little nest egg. It's not going to happen here. If I went to sell my house now, I promise I would be lucky to get what I spent on the house back. It's how it works here. Or unless a foreigner bought the house, and then you could ask what you wanted for it, and maybe, perhaps, you would probably get what you wanted. But if you're selling it to a Filipino or Filipina, then the chances are you're going to lose money. So think about that when you're building a house. Think about when you build a house, it's going to be somewhere where you want to stay. It's going to be somewhere where you want to stay and not an investment. Because it's not going to work like it does in our country. It's really not. So yeah, it took me 6.5 years. 6.5 years to be able to speak to you guys in an honest way. I see many channels where they haven't been here for long. They might have been here for 6 months or 3 months or 1 year, and they trying to give you advice. Well, how can they give you advice when they haven't got any true advice to give? They haven't been here long enough to be able to give advice. And there's a lot of sites that give content, not sites. There's a lot of channels that give false information, and there are a lot of sites from foreigners that give false information. Some are good sites, don't get me wrong, but some are, and they do it for the clicks. It's the only thing I can think of. Where I'm just giving you the Philippine life from the eyes of an expat and from my experience of being here. And I am much happier now being able to adapt, and I don't even think of Western ways. The only thing I really miss from my Western ways, and I will be honest with you guys, is food. Yes, if you're living in a place where you've got, was it S&M and all of the Robinson's Malls and G Mall, yes, then you can get your foods, but I'm not. And I certainly wouldn't move somewhere where closer to these malls just for the food. I wouldn't give up this. This is the view. It's just, why would I want to live in the city or live, closer to somewhere where I can just get my kind of food? So yeah, and this is a little Filipino house, look. It's an old lady who lives in there. Her son died about a year ago, so she lives in there. Lovely old lady. She's a lovely old lady. And we often give her bits and pieces. She comes past our house and we give her some bits and pieces, some rice and eggs, things like this, because she hasn't got a lot. Well, I don't think she's got anything, actually. They get something like called iota and things like this, which is the local government handout every so often. But except from that, she hasn't got no pension or anything like that. Her daughters, I don't know, I think she's got daughters and sons, but they don't live anywhere near here. So, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so come out here. Don't let other expats and other channels say this and say that. You've got to taste it for yourself. You've got to, you've got to put your boots on the ground here, and you've got to make your own mind up, your own decisions. But if you can adapt to here, you've got no problems whatsoever. No problems whatsoever. And don't forget the reason why you wanted to come here in the first place. And that was to get away from the rat race of our countries in which we came from. And to make our little bits of money that we have go further. Chainsaw in the background. Chopping down some coconut trees, I think. So yeah, just don't forget why you came here. And don't try and change the Filipinos into our way of thinking. It's not going to happen. It's truly not going to happen. Adapt to their way of life. We are in their country. Like I said before, you can leave your country, but can you change the way, like in which you live in your country? To live here, you've got to be able to do that. What else? There was something else as well, but I think I'll leave that for another video. But I mean, look, this is the sun's. This is beautiful, right? Look, and there's my house right over there. You can just about see it. But it's beautiful, and the peace and the quiet and the birds singing. One of my subscribers, they said, get the app on your phone where you can listen to the birds singing and it will tell you what it is. Well, I tried to get the app on my phone, but this phone is a Huawei. And Huawei and Google have had an argument, so I can't get Google Play on here to download applications that I want. So I've got to download the applications from Huawei's applications, and it hasn't got one of those apps where I can see what birds are actually making the chirping sound, unfortunately. So yeah, guys, come here with an open mind. Some of you will succeed. I hope many of you will succeed, but also some of you won't. And it's not because you don't like the country. It's probably because you don't like the way things are done here. So yeah, to be successful in anything, You've got to adapt to the surroundings and just try to adapt, you know, get that mindset of I'm trying to get out of the sun. Just get out of that mindset of time is important, because time's not important here. And when we get older, we want more time. We don't want less time, we want more time. So then being late, it gives you more time to do the things that perhaps you wouldn't have been able to do. So yes, guys, I've got something caught in my foot. Just be able to adapt to the country. Be able to adapt to how things work here. And that's what I wanted to say today. And that's it. Next time, I mean, if any of you guys there have got any suggestions, or you want to know anything, and if I have the knowledge, I will do a video on it. And it can be anything. Just leave a comment, you know, with a suggestion, and I will do it. I will do it. I'm seeing my wife in the garden. She's getting, oh no, she's getting their kamote tops. Kamote tops apparently taste a bit like spinach, but I don't know. I've tried them. To me, it doesn't taste like spinach. I can eat them now and again, but not on a regular basis. Oh look, these, got to show you these quickly. These here it's a form of cucumber, but they grow massively long, and you boil them. They taste okay, actually. They taste okay. I think these crops are nearly finished now. He'll be digging them out and putting something else in, I expect. So yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for dropping by again. Thank you for the subscriptions. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Share the videos. Hit the like button. Oh, that's hot on the back of my neck. I got sunburnt on the back of my neck at the weekend and on my face. I want to keep out of the sun. And I will catch you later, guys. Thank you for all the support on the channel with the subscriptions. You know, it's really appreciated. I thank you so much. And I'll catch you guys later. Sunshine's burning me up. Bye bye.